personally have, battled with it.
And how did you overcome this?
Wait, question, suicidal thoughts?
I've had suicidal thoughts, yeah.
Okay. Like, were they, like, how often? Were they reoccurring?
No, not, I would say maybe like twice. I've never, like, I hadn't tried it, but it was definitely like a thought, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Like, you feel that way.
So was it just ideations, or did you actually come up with a plan at one point?
Yeah, I had a plan.
Yeah?
I had a plan.
What was the plan?
Pills.
That's it. Isn't that now like the most common way? You don't have to pull up the statistics. I don't know if you just knew off top.
The statistic, the most common way was firearms.
Firearm,
That's
okay.
violent. I wouldn't want, if I was going to do that, I wouldn't want it to be violent like that.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I had battled that since I became a teen mom. So I had to overcome that, and not just for myself, but for my kid. Like, I, to have to think about, that would be the most selfish thing that I could do to my son, is to end my life,
So during that time, was this like postpartum depression?
No. It was a couple years after I had him. So, I mean, I was depressed at that time. I did have postpartum depression, but like, where it was just kind of like I was at an all-time low, that was some years after. Because postpartum depression, that kind of comes with it. That's it's also called the baby blues. Yeah,
where
exactly.
Pretty much after the baby, you feel down, but that wasn't the case.
No, that wasn't the case.
Okay.
It was just like after that, I was like in a dark place. So it was a thought. And it was just something that I really just I got help for, and I overcame it. And I think I don't mind telling people, because if my story can help someone get help, or maybe help them realize, like, this isn't the end, there's more to it.
Yeah.
I'll gladly put it out there. My life is not perfect. Like,
so during this time period, did you isolate yourself?
Yes.
A lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't do that. Isolation is not what you want to do. And I did. Like, I was just I cut myself off from everyone. And that's really where your mind kind of just starts
wandering.
Yeah, wandering, and like, making you think things. So that if you are suffering from that, don't isolate yourself. That's not the key.
Would you say it's what was one of the attributes to you thinking those thoughts was like identity crisis?
No, it was really just kind of like, with me being, I was a young mom, and then you kind of see everything just happening around you. Like, I couldn't go to the school I wanted to go to. Like, there were so many things I couldn't do that,
as your peers.
Yeah, that my peers are doing. And you just kind of like start to feel down about things when you just and that's the thing, you don't compare your life to other people's lives.
And that's what happens a lot.
That's what happens, exactly. And that's really what one of the things that triggered for me, aside from my relationship with like my family and things like that, like that was one of the things, just kind of seeing, I feel like everyone was just kind of living their life and progressing, and I'm just kind of like, oh, here's my kid, So that definitely takes its toll. Was
the child's father, or is he in the picture?
He is. At that point, we were going back and forth. We were both really young, so it was just kind of like, he was still basically a kid, like. So, his thought process wasn't what it would be now. So he wasn't
too much of a support.
Exactly. He wasn't, and that contributed to the way that I felt at that time. Now, we're great. That's, who I'm with. But it's just kind of like at that time when it wasn't, it was just kind of like, I felt like all the odds were against me. Yeah. So
I know you said you isolated yourself, but were your friends fucking with you? Because I can understand, like, I've been interacting with people who've been depressed and suicidal, and I gotta be honest, man, that shit get draining. That shit get real draining.
Yeah, no, my friends didn't, and that's the thing, is because people they're living their lives. When you get older, people have jobs, they're at school. It's like we didn't really get to hang out and do things anymore, because we're all living our lives, and that's just kind of what it was. Like, they didn't, and I didn't feel comfortable. They actually didn't find out until recently that I had been suffering from depression. So it wasn't anything that I vocalized. I didn't, have this pity party around them, like, oh, my life sucks. Like, when I'm around them, I'm joking, I'm great. Yeah. So they wouldn't even suspect that I was going through anything. So I don't want to put that on someone else, because energy, I mean, you can get that energy. So I wouldn't want to put that on anyone else. So I didn't just kind of make myself seem like, oh, my life is just so horrible around them. But that's the thing, when they were just out, like, living their lives, I was just not. I felt like I wasn't.
So like during your, during this time, did you have days during your depression where you actually felt the opposite of sad? You felt like, because I'm going off like what you said before, but you felt like overly happy. Like
No.
never? Like, really?
No,
Okay.
no. And then like there'd be days I would just like stay in bed for like days, just days and not get up. Like I'm just, I can't do life today.
Yeah.
And so it's really just like, pushing past that. And that's what I really had to do is just like, I got help. I talked to someone. Like, don't think that you're too cool to get help, to talk to anyone, because it really does help.
Yeah.
Like, really helps. So.
Well, I think, and thank you for sharing your story, by the way. Very encouraging, very encouraging. But also, I think it's a hard thing. Even when I was dealing with, identity crisis, to just vocalize that, it's embarrassing,
Yeah.
Identity crisis. Like, you mean, so like after you were cut, you didn't know who you were, or like what you were, is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, it's similar to that. So if I've been associated with, this sport or for a long time, and that's what happened to a lot of players like NBA, NFL, all those players, some of them even commit, well, you could say CTE, but so some players commit suicide or go through a spiraling depression. If you're associated with something for so long, it gets attached to you, all right? And it becomes part of your character qualities. Then you realize when that thing is detached to you, you're like, how do I do life without it? It's just a phase. It's just a season. Because I believe there's seasons in life, and we all change with the seasons.
Word.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So Tamara, like when you were in this dark place, like what would you say to people who have individuals in their lives they're trying to reach out to? Because I think the go-to thing we would all do would be like if somebody tells you they want to kill themselves or whatever, it would be like, hey, I'm here to talk, or what's wrong, or don't do it, we love you. I read a tweet where somebody said something along the lines of, instead of saying those, say, hey, I got you something to eat, come over, or say.
Definitely.
So how would you want to be talked to when you're in this period?
I mean, like, that was a thing too. Like, some days I would go days without eating, like, so making sure that they're okay. Like, because there's not really anything you can do for someone that's depressed. Like, there's not anything that you can just say really that's going to make their lives better. So really just being there for them and, hey, did you eat today? I'm going to bring you some food, and then even just encouraging them to talk to someone. Just encourage them to get help. Just don't let them just kind of dwell in their sorrows. Like, of course, you can't force them to, but encourage them. I always use the word encourage because you can't make anyone do anything.
Yeah.
So just encourage them and just make sure they're, that you're there for them. If they need anything, make sure that they know that they can call you. Because that's the thing, a lot of people don't feel that they have anyone that they can talk to or go to. So making sure you have that open door, helps.
Are there any warning signs?
I mean, I wouldn't say, but people just, they handle it so differently. Because I said, like, I was the type that I'm perfectly fine around my friends. I'm not going to let y'all know I'm going through anything. I'm not going to put that on y'all.
Best face on.
Exactly. Like, I'm joking. Like, they could tell you, like, we would have never even thought.
How many? Oh, y'all keep going.
We never thought that, she was going through anything, and they wouldn't. So it really just varies. It's different, different for different people. Some people, they'll just kind of isolate themselves. If they're isolating themselves, don't allow them to. For me, I isolated myself, but that's because, but my friends, they didn't really notice because we're adults. We don't hang out every day, So you just kind of have to, if you know someone's going through something, just make sure that you let them know that you're there for them. And just whatever you can do as far as, talking to them, making sure that they feel comfortable talking to you. Like, don't put them off. If someone needs to say that they need to talk to them, because that could be the last conversation that, they tried to have with someone.
Yeah.
So.
And then as somebody who's dealt with individuals with mental illness, like I was saying, that can be really taxing. That can be draining. I mean, it sounds good when people talk about it. They say, oh, your real friends will be there for you. But you have no idea how it is to be involved with somebody for like a year and going through that spiral of depression. Like, it's really taxing.
It's extremely.
Did anybody ever cut you off from their life during this time?
No, not cut me off. I cut everyone else off. So that was more of me isolating myself. I mean, and that's the thing, people can only be there for you as much as you allow them to.
True.
You know, so it's kind of like if you're really just pushing everyone away, there's really not a whole lot that people can do. But usually if you're really depressed, you know, and going through things, you're not going to just completely, you know, you want someone to be there for you. You want, it's not, no one wants to be depressed. No one wants to feel this way.
Yeah.
You know, so you can only, you know, encourage people to get help. You can make sure that you're there to talk to them. You know, you can make sure that they're okay. Have you eaten? Because that's a lot of things. When people are depressed, they don't eat. I went days without eating. That too. You're just in the bed. Like I would change pajamas.
No motivation and get up.
Yeah, I would change pajamas, get back in the bed.
You never showered?
No.
Oh, God.
I would go days. Like really, because you're just
no
you're
motivation.
Just, no motivation. Because like, what do I need a shower for? Like for what?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're depressed.
I understand though. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just kind of.
Do you do a lot of reminiscing about how your life was or how it should be? Type of deal.
In my depression, now I'm just kind of, I'm in a good place. So it's just kind of like, I'm taking everything for what it is. You know, I'm grateful for what I have, for, you know, the fact that I was able to overcome that, because not everyone is. So I don't really reminisce on things because I'm really blessed. Like, you know, I have a good job. I had a baby 5 months ago, and I have not been to work since. I still have. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I have a 9-year-old and a 5-month-old. Thank you. So I'm blessed enough to have a job. I don't have to go back till September.
Oh wow.
So you know, I'm just.
They hiring
you. You have to really just like, you know, I could easily look at things and be like, oh well, you know, my life could be so much worse, but don't, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey Tamara, it really means a lot that you shared this and you opened up.
No problem.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We gotta have you back on the show.
It's not easy to do and very encouraging.
Because this mental illness, it's intriguing, but it's also it's real. A lot of people are dealing. There's so many facets to this, like dating somebody with with a mental disorder. Which
maybe I should bring my boyfriend on here.
Is he borderline?
No, but he's dealt with me while I was going through it.
Bring the king on.
So
man.
He's more than welcome.
Yeah, definitely talk to him.
Yeah. So and people who haven't dealt with it, they really don't understand it. You know. So making the awareness it's good.
Okay. And the thing about mental illness or even suicide thoughts, it can happen to anybody. So it doesn't discriminate. So it can happen to anybody.
Word.
But anyways, wow, what an episode! Man.
Tamara, what you want to talk about? Anything you want to leave the viewers? Anything?
How can we follow you?
What you got going on?
Follow me on Instagram, GlamXTam. It's GLAMXTAM. So follow me on Instagram. I'm huge on the beauty and the naturalista, all that good stuff. So we do have a little something cooking up with my group of friends, so we're gonna ask for y'all to have us back on when we do that. I don't want to put it out there now.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
It's still cooking up.
It's in the universe, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but follow me on Instagram. You can stay updated on everything on there.
Word. Well, hey man, it's Ejike Jamal. You can follow me on Twitter or IG at EJIKEJAMAL. Make sure y'all follow the show We the Safe Place. All right, at We the Safe Place.